Husayn is the lantern of guidance and the ship to salvation, and the ship to salvation. الحسين مصباح الهدى وسفينة النجاة.
Life feels like a continuous string of calamities, one challenge after the other. Why do I have to deal with this chronic illness? No matter how much I give in a relationship, they always seem to fall apart. Why do bad things always happen to me? Why me? Why this? Why not that? These are few of the narratives I hear in my practice as a clinical psychologist and spiritual coach. Assalamu alaikum. This is Mubarak Nawaz from Hyderabad, India. Today we will attempt to unravel the wisdom in challenges as we navigate our journey from detesting challenges to embracing them with gratitude. There couldn't be a more appropriate time than the month of Muharram to embark on this revelatory journey. Our beloved Imam Husayn alayhi salam, has exemplified the status of challenges in ways no one in history has ever witnessed. Each sajda of gratitude on the scorching sands of Karbala after every sacrifice bears witness to the words of our loving Creator, فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْيُسْرِ يُسْرًا, إِنَّ مَعَ الْيُسْرِ يُسْرًا. Indeed, with every hardship is a blessing. In fact, in the very same spirit, our dear Bibi Zainab, his illuminated sister, fiercely declared in the Darbar of Yazid, "Ma raitu illa Jamila." Loud and clear, without an iota of doubt, standing there she declares, "I see nothing but beauty in Karbala." Are we able to see the beauty in challenges and fall down on our knees in a sajda of gratitude? Probably not. Let's find the missing link and work on creating the algorithm that will lead us to moving from a state of suffering to gratitude in the face of challenges. I'm hoping you're just as excited as I am as we make the substantial moves on the learning curve of moving into gratitude in the eye of challenge today. In the experience of life, we've observed that everyone faces challenges without any exception, though they may be in different flavors. Some could be physical, relationship, financial, existential, also for that matter. But why do we have to face these challenges when we were created by a loving Creator who proclaims to love us 70 times more than our biological mother? Why? Okay, but before we address these questions, let's begin with rating ourselves on a scale of gratitude when faced with challenges. I urge you all to close your eyes gently and consciously bring to your awareness a challenge, an episode, an experience which you consider to be challenging, and rate yourself on the scale of gratitude from 0 to 10, 0 being the least, 10 being the highest. Ask yourself how grateful you feel in the challenge. Write this number or just memorize it for that matter. I will experientially take you through the process and we will gauge our movement on the scale of gratitude in the face of challenge. We'll do that once more when we end this session. Like always, we will attempt to practically initiate the radical shifts and watch the resistance morphing into acceptance and gratitude. Getting back to our discussion, is there a single soul that you know in human existence that can proclaim a challenge-free life? No, there isn't. There isn't any such soul. Because, in fact, if you observe, there is great value in challenges, and that is the reason why the more spiritually enlightened the souls have, that the souls that have walked on this earth, they have actually experienced bigger and bigger challenges. They have been blessed with heart-wrenching challenges. They were undoubtedly the special souls. So we can, for that matter, come to the conclusion that the more illuminated or enlightened the soul is, the bigger the challenge. But this, in fact, highlights Allah's proclamation or Allah's stature of being Adil. He's just. But then some challenges are big and some challenges are so small. How is the Lord's justice displayed in this context? So then, Surah Bakra, Allah tells us that He commits to us that Allah does not charge any soul except with what is within its capacity. So the bigger the capacity, the bigger your challenge. So that helps us in understanding, puts justice in place. That's, I think, Surah Baqarah's 4th and 5th ayat. Then the ayat proceeds and it irons a few more creases when we feel at times wronged by someone and we rise up in a vengeful fit or want to get back. The ayat proceeds further and tells us that that every soul will reap all the good that they have sown they will bear the benefit, they will reap the benefits of it, and every evil they've done they'll have to face the consequences. So that absolves us from the revenge and the vengeful loop that we might get into. Letting go of the bad done to us and handing over our affairs to our Lord, our just Lord, liberates us completely from the negative loop. This has been displayed by numerous prophets, and especially talking in the context of Karbala, our fourth Imam, when Hurmula was thirsty, he quenched his thirst, and on inquiry that why did he do so, our Imam gracefully proclaimed that I did what was true to my character, you did probably what is true to your character. And that was such a beautiful answer. Another very important missing element when we're dealing with challenges or we feel despair in the eye of challenges is tawakkul. This is a very important element, and when we find ourselves helpless and hopeless in the eye of challenges, we need to revisit and revalue our quantum of tawakkul, the degree of tawakkul, the trust in our Almighty. Let me assist you in understanding this component with an example of a mother handing over a sharp knife to a man to cut her child. How would you describe this mother? Deranged, crazy, mentally unstable? Probably. Those would be the usual answers that I would get. But let me add some more context to the scene. The child is suffering from appendicitis and there's a curfew in the city, and this gentleman, or this man for that matter, is the doctor, and he's the only one available to operate on the child. He's a surgeon, so she pleads him that please take this knife and cut my child. Cut my child in the context of operate on my child. So now it's for the well-being of the child, to ease the pain of the child, to get the appendicitis and the appendix out, and the inflamed appendix that is there in the stomach, which is life-threatening, fatal. So the mother doesn't want to cause the child pain. She wants the child to be alleviated from the pain or the discomfort that he's facing, and assist him in a comfortable experience. Make him relieve him from what he's enduring. But it looks like a challenge, a problem, a pain that the mother is inflicting on the child, a major pain that the mother is inflicting on the child. That's exactly what it looks like when we're looking at challenges. Similar to the experience between Khizr alayhi salam and Musa alayhi salam, the three experiences which look like challenges that are beyond human comprehension when the veils are there. But when the veils are lifted, we understand the context and they all fall in place. They all fall in line. And that's how God's, the 70 biological mothers' love can be displayed by our Almighty even in these challenges. Very often we might not be able to decode what is behind the veils, decode the reason behind the challenge was, but when we look behind, when we join the dots looking backwards, we will definitely find the wisdom behind these challenges. I'll pause for a moment here and let's connect the dots. Our Lord loves us more than 70 biological mothers. Are we all on the same page? It's out of His love that He puts us through the challenges. But every challenge has within it embedded a blessing. And that's why the gratitude, the shukr, which Imam did. And that's why the peace which Bibi Zainab felt. And not being able to see the blessing and feeling despair is lack of tawakkul. Now this takes us to the $1,000,000 question and actually the sole purpose of this interaction. How do we build the muscle of tawakkul? How do we increase the degree of tawakkul in our experience? So let me take you on this journey with practical steps on how to do it. There is intrinsic value in challenges. We are all on the same page. But it is often overlooked and lost because we get overwhelmed with the pain, the suffering, and the drama involved. Our own understanding, our own assumptions, our own intellectual data that we get to, story that we create around the issue. Let me add a very important fact here from neuroscience that every experience, emotional experience, every emotion for that matter, lasts only for 90 seconds. If one incident elaborates this very clearly, that is when Imam Ali, Maula Ali was Amr ibn Abdawat was on Maula Ali Maula Ali was on Amr bin Abdawat and he spat on him. That moment, the Imam experienced an emotion of anger and he got down from Amr ibn Abdawat and he allowed that emotion to dissolve by itself. So it has a lifespan. Every emotion has a lifespan of 90 seconds. If you allow it to run and die its own death, then it has no hold on you. But if you add a story to it, a thought to it, it keeps multiplying and the 90 seconds keep expanding. So in the eye of a challenge, if anyone said something to you, something's happened to you, if you allow it to run its own cycle, it'll die after 90 seconds. That's just a simple tool that I'm handing over to you, which comes from neuroscience. Now, let's get back to where we are. How do you activate the muscle of tawakkul? How do you get this tawakkul? So when we are in a challenge, to be able to garner all the strength and feel that there is some wisdom in it is very difficult, because that is not something that we are calibrated to actually do because of the programming, the past programming. So what do? We need to work on this muscle when we are not in the challenge. So you don't go one day and fight on the battlefield. What do? You practice months and years and decades before you jump on the battlefield. So there is a lot of effort that is gone in. There's a lot of practice that goes in when you are not in the stress of the winning and losing. So we need to prepare this way before the challenge. When you are in a state of peace and ease, we call it rest and digest. We are not in the stress mode. So we're not in the fight and flight mode, we are in the rest and digest mode. So what do we have to do? Here, now these ayats, Innama al Yusri Yusra, there is then different ayats which improve, which add on the tawakkal aspect, that Allah is adil, Allah is just, Allah is going to take care of everything. Even an iota of good will be compensated. An iota of bad you're going to be having to pay a compensation for that. So all these ayats that help us understand stories, even stories in your life where the good has been blessed, you've been given, you've received the blessings of the good that you did, and you have felt the negative impact of the evil acts that you've done, and how forgiveness has helped you, whatever it is. So you need to keep making a note of this, keep screensavers of this on your phone, write these ayats, ornamentally design it, put it all across. Keep reminding yourself and people around you of the wisdom, the power in challenges, how challenges have helped people wriggle out of their comfort zone, help them to identify the strengths that were hidden within them, these treasures of strengths that were within them, which wouldn't have been displayed if they weren't facing challenges. There are lots of stories all over the YouTube where you see children who are writing with their feet, writing their exams with their feet because they don't have hands. There are people who are flying the aeroplane with their feet, without their hands. They're doing things that we would never even attempt or assume that we could do if we did not have these deformities or these incapacities, this handicap. So as of now, after all that we've just heard and shared, I want you to go back to your scale, the scale of gratitude, and go back to your challenge. And in that challenge, I want you to now rate yourself on the scale of gratitude. Where do you see yourself? Has there been a shift? And now, when this script, we're hearing just a few minutes of what was shared, has made this shift, I'm sure when you keep doing it over and over again, the muscle, if you use it, if you don't use it, you lose it. And what you focus on grows. So now, these are things that you need to keep focusing on all the time, reminding yourself and others around you. I end with Innama al Yusri Yusra. Fa Innama al Yusri Yusra. My favorite ayat. And lots of thanks to this initiative of Lanterns of Light, or this noble initiative of Lanterns of Light. Jazakallah khair. And I'm always available for any questions. You can reach out to Lanterns of Light. Thank you so much. Lots of blessings to each viewer. May we all be able to see the wisdom in challenges.